Alright, hello, my name is Aaron. Today I was going to do a tutorial on a Shakey Graves song called Climb on the Cross, which is been a big fan of that song for a long time, and figure I'd show you how to play it, or at least how I play it and how I think Shakey Graves plays it, although he plays it many different ways, in many different scenarios. But this is based on two recordings of his. One is one that he did for, I think it's called the Cardinal Sessions, and then another one that he did for, what is that? It's a radio station, The Bridge. I don't know their actual station name, but they have live sessions, The Bridge live sessions, and he did a electric version there that was very cool. So I'll go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and run through the whole thing, or play the whole thing first, and then break down what I'm doing. There's a couple different sections going on, but they're all fairly simple to get used to, so here we go. So that's all the sections put together, and now let's go ahead and break down those sections. So the first section, which I think is, as far as guitar is concerned, is undoubtedly the coolest section, or at least my favorite section, is essentially what you sing the verses over. It is what you sing the verses over. So what you're actually doing here is a little more simple than kind of the movements would lead one to believe. It's actually just you start A minor to G back to A minor. So you're playing it, and then they're weird A minors. So well, the first one is. This first one is a strange A minor, not strange, I guess, but it's got this. Basically, chord shape is 7th fret A string, 7th fret D string, 5th fret G string, and then open B and E, which gives you a very dissonant interval right there between your open B and your 5th fret G string, which is a B against C kind of rub. That's very dissonant, but also very cool. Technically, what you could call that chord is A minor. What is it? A minor add 9. Yeah. An A minor add 9 chord, but since the 9 is right next to that, usually add 9 chords are not super dissonant. or at least super dissonant like that. But because it's a minor second, and because those minor seconds are right next to each other, like if I were to play it like, let me see. Technically that's the same chord, but it doesn't sound as dissonant as the other chord, because the B that I'm playing is way up here on the 7th fret. It's a little extended, and that's a good rule of thumb if you want to play like weird extended chords. Play them higher in the register or farther away from the notes in which they are dissonant with the notes that they're dissonant with, and then you can, they ring out a little clearer, and you don't get this really hardcore rub, unless that hardcore rub is what you want. And in this case, I actually think it's pretty tasteful, and I like the sound of that rub. So anyway, long explanation of the one chord. So first you're going to start with that A minor, 7th fret A, D string, 7th fret A and D string, 5th fret G string, everything else open, not really playing open E. I mean, you can kind of get away with it, because that is the 5th of your A minor, so actually sounds kind of cool, so if you want to do that, feel free. And then you're going to go to this G, which is, it's kind of a G bar chord shape. You're just taking the bar away. You're not putting your index finger down on that 3rd fret. You're just kind of leaving the bar off. So you got 5th fret A and D string, and then 4th fret G string, open B, and he also hits the open E as well. Actually, I don't know if he does. I don't think he does. No, on his way down he doesn't hit the E here. He will hit it on the next chord. So we got A minor, G, down to G over B, which is the same chord, it's just inverting it, which is interesting to hear the differences between those two chords. Because you're not actually changing chord technically, you're just kind of changing where the notes are at in the chord, and in that way still moving the chord progression without actually moving it. It's interesting. The entire world of inversions is interesting. And then just back to a normal E minor. G over B, so you got A minor, G bar with no bar, G over B, which is 2nd fret A string, open D, open G, 3rd fret B string, and here he does play that high E string, so he hits that high E string right there. And just a normal A minor, so you got open A, 2nd fret D string, 2nd fret G string, 1st fret B string, open E. He's hammering that. He hammers that 2nd fret D string fairly frequently. This section is like the whole reason I wanted to learn this song. I love that section. And then so that's the first section. Goes into what is really an extension of the verse in a not over the same chords though. It's weird. The first verse is longer, and the second part of the verse is played over a different chord progression, which is interesting. But that part of the chord progression, so you got A minor, G, G over B, A minor, then you're gonna go to D. It's the how's that start? But now I'm spending all my money on a spending all my money on a badge and a gun. So that part, you got D, which is open D string, 2nd fret G string, 3rd fret B string, 2nd fret E string. And he kind of susses it with that 3rd fret E string. Put your pinky down on that 3rd fret E string. To E minor, open E, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret D, open G, B, E. like seriously learning to love this chord. It's one of my favorite chords, and it's super simple. It's 3rd fret low E string, 3rd fret A string, 2nd fret D string, open G, 1st fret B string, open E. So full, so great. I'm a big fan of this chord, especially if you take the 1st fret B off and make it a C major 7 over G. That's great, but that's not what we're doing here. So you got D, E minor, C over G. Go to B minor, kind of doing this cool alternating bass thing. The B minor is, you got a bar across your 2nd fret, starting at the A string. That'll change a little bit, and I'll show you what I'm talking about there, but bar across the 2nd fret, 4th fret D string, 4th fret G string, 3rd fret B string, and then all the other notes are taken care of by your bar across the 2nd fret, but he's doing this alternating bass pattern, and what you could theoretically, normally on a B minor, you kind of exclude the low E string, but you could theoretically bar the whole 2nd fret and just do, but I don't know, they're similar, especially if you're palm muting, which Shakey's doing a lot. In this song, he's palm muting basically the whole thing. I don't know. I like the movement of moving your pointer finger, so you can do that. You can either, do that 2nd fret bar where you're excluding the E string, and then when you switch bass notes to the 2nd fret E string, you can kind of move your pointer finger like this, or you can just bar the whole thing and leave it planted. And so you go to B minor with the alternating. Gonna go down a half step to B flat minor, which is cool, and A minor. You can do an alternating bass pattern on A minor too, just switch between A and E, just the same pattern, just a different chord. You can walk back up too if you want. I don't think Shakey actually walks back up, but it's cool. I always forget to go back to the alternating bass pattern. All right, 1 second. Yeah, so we got B minor, alternating bass pattern, B flat minor, just down a half step, to A minor, which you went over before. I find it easier to just kind of keep that bar shape thing, like in front of your bar, this shape the whole time, even when you're on A minor, even though you usually play it like this. If you play it like this, then you're ready to just walk back up when you go back to B minor. You can get away with it. And it might be good to like develop quick chord switches. I just, economy of movement is important in playing guitar. So we got B minor. To what you could probably call the chorus section. That would probably be called the pre-chorus. I don't really know. It's kind of a strange song, and not a lot of Shakey Graves songs don't real like the chorus isn't repeated. The chords are repeated, and it doesn't matter. The next section of the song is you're going to start on G, E minor, and then C over G. So G, I've said it a million times, you can play G a million different ways. I literally just like to play it 3rd fret. Well, not a million. Well, you can play it a million different ways. You can play open G. For all intents and purposes, you can play open G in 3 different ways. The kind of classic open G. What I do is just 3rd fret, low and high E string. I like the open B, and all that. And then, I don't know. There's also, you could do kind of double B G, where you're putting your pointer finger down on the 2nd fret of the A string, or like the full G that most people get taught is you put your ring finger down on the 3rd fret of the B string and you get the D there. I find this to be very bright and G sounding, honestly. This one's a little more, I don't know, it doesn't matter. You can play G however you want. That's different ways. I play G just 3rd fret, both E's, and I prefer that G. So you got G, then E minor, we went over, and then C over G, G also went over. Just to find out, fucking up, it's in your blood. From there, just go on to the second part of the song, which is just the first kind of chorus chord or verse chord progression. And that's basically the whole song. Cool song. Really love the first section. I think it's just that opening dissonance I really like. That's a great chord. And also the G movement, that's not really a movement. Whoops. I like that too. But yeah, I'll make a do like a chord sheet that'll hopefully help too. I just rewired this guitar, and of course the switch, I don't think that's supposed to happen. I don't think something's grounded correctly. 50s wiring sounds great. I love it, and it's cool because it's from the 50s, but it's kind of a pain. And I don't think I really know how to do it correctly yet, and I've done it 3 times. But when the pickups are working, I love these pickups. Yeah. Anyway, noodling is like it doesn't make any sense. Something's not grounded correctly. I will revisit that. But that is useless information. I hope the information that preceded that useless information was useful, and that you can now start to learn Climb on the Cross by Shakey Graves, which is a great song. I do like that song a lot. And you don't see it very much. He doesn't play that much. Maybe he doesn't like it that much, which, you know, it happens. It's interesting how some of the things we create that we don't like, or maybe don't like that much, can turn out to be someone else's favorite song. Rotten Old Me is that way too. I don't think he likes that song very much. And I'm just judging off the fact that he never plays it. Maybe that's actually a sign that somebody loves a song, because, you know, I've heard songwriters express that, or any band. You know, the songs they like the most, they don't play them that much because they start to lose their specialness to the songwriter. It's kind of like you get tired of it, which makes sense. Like, I can only imagine. I can't even imagine how someone like the Rolling Stones still like plays Satisfaction and doesn't want to just like tell the crowd to F off. Like, we're not doing this anymore. Oh, I don't have to imagine very hard. They make millions of dollars. I imagine that's a pretty big motivating factor. But more useless information. So it is Saturday, 3 in the morning, January 14th. I hope everyone has a good rest of your weekend, a good next week, and I will catch you later.